Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Thespa. This is going to be part 2 of my recipe junk journal series, I guess. Yesterday was my first one, and I was able to get the front cover and the spine done on my cover. And I tried to do it with real time, but it took a really long time for it to upload to YouTube from my phone. Usually I speed it up so that the videos are shorter and it doesn't take any time at all, but yesterday's took a little over an hour to upload an hour's worth of video. So yeah, I'm going to keep trying, keep doing it real time, I think, for this series, but it's probably not my favorite method, mainly because I can't go on to something else and record something else because it takes so long to upload the video. But while it was uploading, I went through some things. I went through my stack of ephemera that I had, and I went ahead and cut apart everything and pulled out the things that I wanted to save and use for the book. I also went through my stash of things. This was my latest stuff from Hobby Lobby a while back. So apparently I had this project in mind. I don't know, accidentally when I went clearance shopping. But so this Distress Oxide Cracked Pistachio, I haven't actually tried it, but just by the color, it's going to match pretty well. And so I'll probably be using that on my pages. And then, you know, turquoise and white baker's twine, can't beat that. That's pretty cool. And then all of these milk caps. I'm planning on making, altering some paper clips with those, and making some, you know, page markers with these. So that'll be cool. Good way to use up all of those milk caps. But yeah, so that was that. I also found my tablet of paper. So this is going to be used on the back of some recipe cards, so that I can use that for journaling and stuff. I'm going to be making some of my own recipe cards. So that's going to be kind of fun. So what I got from my stash of things, I found this little teacup postcard. Thought that would be a cool recipe card. And then these are some Tim Holtz journaling cards, and I thought these would all make pretty good, like, little recipe cards. They have journaling spaces on the back, and this one has, like, you know, food. This one I just like the color of, you know, so I think those will be good. This one has strawberries on it. This one has, you know, peach. But these would be cool for writing down some. There's a pear on that one. Writing down some recipes. So I love that print on that. So yeah, those are pretty cool, and I really like those. So those are going to go in my book for recipe cards. These are some trims out of the book, the Wedding Newlywed Cookbook, and then these are images as well from the Newlywed Cookbook that I can use for making some different embellishments and stuff. These I'm planning on turning into recipe cards. I'll be covering the backs. That's probably where, you know, these will come in. I'll sew them on or glue them on. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, those are all going to be altered recipe cards, but they have such beautiful pictures on them. And then I can use them, you know, if I have a recipe I want to write down, then I can go through my stack of images and see if I find one. Like if I have one that's some kind of chocolate or whatever, you know, I can use that as a decorative element. So a lot of really great images to use in my book. So and then these are the same. I cut these down to use as page pockets and such. Some really cool images there. And I cut out some of these. I cut out, and I thought I would use them to decorate pages somehow. There's some more of those. I thought those would make cute tabs. But yeah, some of those I cut out like this, simple meals. I just fussy cut them, and other ones I left, whole for, making pockets and things. So I've got those. And then, of course, these I went through and cut out, my different pieces to make embellishments and such. Stuff like this. All these pages I just think are so cool. Lots of cool stuff. Well, if it will focus. Sorry, guys. Thought I'd use that on the edge of a page or something. I'm not sure, but got all my pieces cut, and some things like these recipe booklets, I took the staples out, and I may end up making pages within my journal that way. Some things I just think some things are just cool. I cut down some of these to use as page pockets. So I just went through all of my stuff and just cut up the things and set to the side things that I thought I would use. And pages. I love this so much. I'm just going to use it as pages in my book. So I'm not sure if I'll use all of these pages, but there's a lot of them in here. So and then these are the large images from that Newlywed Cookbook. But I am going to make pockets out of them. I'm going to sew around the edges and then insert them in my book like this. But then they'll be pockets. So I thought those are cool. And I tried to pick ones that had some of the turquoise and blues images in them, or pages that had turquoise in them, that kind of thing. So yeah. That was what I was working on yesterday while that video was taking forever to load. So today I'm going to disassemble some of my this book. So I wanted to use some of the pages out of the original cookbook in there as well. And I've been trying to look up online to see what people's favorite recipes from the Joy of Cooking are, and I haven't gotten a lot of, I haven't gotten too far as let's see, these are all kind of, bound, and once you take this off, you can get them all off, unless you can't get it all at the same time. But everybody, has their own favorite recipes, but I was trying to see if there was any, overall favorites as far as book recipes out of this book that I should save. Because there are kind of, let's face it, there's some funky recipes in this book that I will never use in my lifetime. But that is just not coming off, is it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a section, see if I can pull it out this way. Basically, you just have to crack it. So once you get that section cracked off, you can go to the center, if you can find it, and you should be able to remove whole pages. So that's pretty cool. Then you just go again, find another section, push it open to crack it, crack that glue on the spine. Sometimes it takes some good push. So you can see all the fibers holding it together, so those are pretty cool. So I'm just going to be taking all of those apart for now. Excuse me, guys. I'm just going to keep hitting that over and over. Someone is out there saying, no! But yeah. And then I usually save these pieces because they have a lot of visual interest, and then I can use those in other projects and stuff. So, what's everybody working on right now? I am been trying to get a lot of projects done that I haven't had time to do, and watching all kinds of videos and making up a huge list of more things that I want to try, and trying to stay healthy and there's a little handwritten recipe. I may use that in my book. I'll set that with some other stuff. Just never know what you'll find in the pages of a cookbook. Those pages pretty good, but there's just so much cool stuff and ideas. And I was watching another video yesterday afternoon. It gave me another idea to use in my book. Gosh, I wish I could. Was it Karen? Something Karen W. I'm gonna have to look that up because I can't remember right off the top of my head. I'm so bad at names. Anyway, I was watching her channel and she was showing how to make how to add page pockets, like those clear plastic page pockets that you put like photos and stuff in, and how to add those to your junk journals and stuff. And I think I might add a couple into my recipe journal, just so that I will have a spot to put different different like clippings and things like that. Of course, my book's going to have a lot of pockets, but I like the idea of having a clear page pocket. You know, it just seems kind of cool. So I'm going to have to see if I can find my page protectors, and add a couple to this book. But I've got all of these parts taking apart here, and just got to decide, you know, which recipes I want to add to my book. Which I could just add, you know, a couple of pages randomly, and then search through the recipes for ones I want to be in my book for just the recipes. I can make recipe cards out of them or something. But I'll have to kind of decide that as I go along. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to add just, you know, a few token pages, because I do have a lot of pages in the stuff I took apart yesterday. So, yeah. I'll do that. We gotta have a page with daiquiris in it. Maybe I'll just take like one page from each section. Something that I think is cute. This one has like a picture of tomatoes on it, which is cute, so I think I might use this page here. So, let's see. Very cute. Let's see. Some of these pages got kind of like this one with the waffle images on it, so I think I'm gonna try to save that one. I'm just trying to find pages that have images on them that, you know, might be cool, because most of these things are going to be covered up with recipes that I actually use, so but, you know, ones with images, I can put something above that so the image still shows. And then later I can go through and look for some different recipes that I want to hang on to. I'm not sure which one I want from this one. I guess I'll just take this one. Shellfish. I do want one with the shrimp page because I do have a really amazing recipe for shrimp that I love to use. And I'll want to put that on, that page probably. It is the juiciest, most plump shrimp I've ever eaten in my entire life. Yeah, it turns out pretty good. It's very savory. All the things. Oh yes. Here's the squirrel with the boot. This is an image that is talked about in a lot of people that collect Joy of Cooking books. Skinning a squirrel, basically. I didn't realize there was going to be a rabbit as well, so that's kind of creepifying. But no, I grew up eating squirrel, actually. Kind of have a funny story about that. I might actually put that squirrel page in my book because I do have a funny story that goes with that. So my stepdad used to go squirrel hunting when I was a kid, and my parents used to make squirrel and dumplings all the time, which is, it was always very good, and, never thought anything about it. Always just liked it, I'm a country kid growing up in Arkansas. Squirrel and dumplings was a thing. So, in high school, one of my friends, Ruth, she came over for a little while after school, and my parents were cooking squirrel and dumplings, and my stepdad asked her if she wanted to stay for dinner, and so she asked what was for dinner, and he told her squirrel and dumplings, and she says, "No thanks, I don't eat rodent." So, to this day, I get a kick out of that memory. So, what you gonna do? One man's meat. But yeah, so that was kind of a funny story. I may write that on that page just because, with my recipes, I want to try to write down memories, That's why it's kind of going to be a junk journal, because it's not just going to be a recipe book. It's going to be, my memories of the different recipes, and so I think that'll be a fun thing, someday when the kids are older and they find my recipe book, they'll know why those recipes were important to me. Yeah, share a little bit of the history. That's kind of like the fun thing about food and recipes is, the memories that go with them. And I wish I had my dad's recipe for stuffing, but I don't know that he ever wrote it down, so what you gonna do? It's kind of hard to figure out where the centers of these things are. I want this one because it's got butter and, garlic and stuff. Although I may have to take 2 out of this one because, these are measurements and stuff. And, we gotta have some measurements in there. I'll just leave that section together and use it that way. So, if anybody's watching today, what are some of your favorite recipes, and why? Like, you got any? Tell me about your family stories. I guess I'm back. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd love to hear your stories and your favorite recipes and why they're your favorites. And um, there was a time last Christmas I was going through my grandmother's old, I guess, recipe card file, I guess, and I found a recipe for, I don't know what it's called now. It was kind of like, I remember it from when I was a kid. My grandmother died when I was 5, so I still remember this Christmas dish she used to make, and it was kind of like a peanut butter toffee, kind of like taffy, almost. This way I can remember it, the best I can describe it. It was white, and it had tasted like peanut butter, and it was like melt in your mouth, almost like a fudge, but not really fudge. Like, it was hard for me to describe, but I found the recipe for that in her card file. And, to me, that recipe is what Christmas tastes like, for all my days. And I have tried to find that recipe, not knowing what it was or, how to describe it, whatever. And it was just such a fun moment, for me to find that recipe. So it was just pretty amazing, I think. So, yeah. That recipe is most definitely going into this book. And I also received her canning book. Yeah. Now I'm in the jams and jellies section. We have a bunch of wild plum trees on our property, and ever since I was a kid, I always used to go and pick up wild plums for my mom, and my mom used to make wild plum jelly. So, yeah, I'll probably have to make a recipe for wild plum jelly. And then I used to make it when I was, when my kids were little. So, I don't think I need an index page, but, so, I will save these pages to go back through and find some gem recipes and try them out. So I don't want to put recipes in my book just to fill up the book with recipes. I want to put recipes in there that I actually use and that my family actually likes. Ones I've actually tried, or family recipes that, have meaning to me. Yeah, I'm trying to be very selective about what goes into my cookbook. So, all right, so that's a lot of pages. I took one from each section, so obviously there's a lot of sections in that book, but I took one set of pages, and I'll be trying to incorporate those into my book. So today I am thinking about inking the edges, so this is going to take a while. I'm not sure that I'm going to record that part of it. It's so hard to know what to put in here because that's going to take a long time and it's all the same thing, So I don't know what anybody actually wants to see, so let me see what this looks like. Might be a little bit too green, which I knew it was going to be a greenish tint, but it doesn't really match the image on the front. But maybe I'm going to try it out a little bit. Maybe once you play with it a little bit, it does something different, perhaps. I'm going to wash off my applicator because I've only got one. I need to order some more of these. And And I don't want anybody to freak out thinking that I'm using baby wipes. I'm not. These are Juicy Couture for the Decadent Dog. They're doggy wipes that I had bought a whole bunch of, like, I don't know, 2 years ago. And they work great for art. I paid like 50 cents a package for them, and I've still got 4 more packages after this one, and I've already used like a ton of them. But yeah, they've come in really handy. I at first bought them for resale, but because, you know, the resale, they were, you know, because they're like Juicy Couture for your pets, but they didn't resell very well, so I was like, well, you know, I only paid 50 cents a package for them. I'll just use them. So that's what I've been using all this time. I don't know that I would buy baby wipes unless I had a baby right now, considering how crazy people are for toilet paper and stuff, you know. Alrighty then, here's that. I really need to get different ones for different colors, because this one's been used for brown, obviously. Alright, good enough for testing. Just want to see how this looks. Yeah, some of my brown is still coming out, but it's not too bad with just a little bit on there. It's just kind of a subtle color. So I'm not sure how I'm going to go about that without having this. Decisions. I really love this thing. It is so nice. I picked this up at the Dollar Tree. This is a Dollar Tree foundation brush, and it is literally awesome. Like, it works so well for, you know, you putting your inks on, and they're only $1, so, you know, can't beat that. So but you really do need one for different colors. Okay, so I went through my stack of these pages that I took out of the Joy of Cooking, and I reduced them to about it's not quite a half, but about a third of the pages-ish, because I'm getting a little carried away with my pages. I'm not wanting to just overdo it, because I want to leave room in my book for the recipes. And I found these scrapbook paper, and I really want to include some pages made of this just to kind of brighten things up. So yeah, I'll be including some of that. And then I thought, well, if I fold that in half and then I trim it down, I'll still have enough room at the bottoms for probably 2 recipe cards out of each one. So that will be kind of cool. So I think I need to decide what I want to add as far as pages. Okay. I think I want to put that one in. And this one, I love this image. It's so cool. Of course, I'm kind of fascinated with, like, you know, the 1920s anyway, and then I found that, and that was really just pretty awesome. Okay, so these are all embellishments. And then these are going to be my pocket pages, and I think I need to pare down on those. I think I'm just going to go with the ones that have that color background, so I'll just go with those two for now. I don't know, I really like this image. It's so cool. I think I'm going to include that one as well. But, oof. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this one because, dang, yum. I made some chocolate chip cookies yesterday. They turned out pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to do this one instead. And then have that one on the inside. So, yes. So that will be 3 pockets there. Let me see if one of these other ones is something I want to change out. Yeah, I think I'm going to change that one for this one. So, let me open it up. There's that image there. Okay, so I pared that one down a bit. And then, okay, I definitely want this page in. And this one. Let's see, as far as these pages go. I kind of like that image of the strawberries, so I think I'm going to put that one in. I do like this image of the cookie jar, but I'm not sure. I'm trying to be very particular about what I put in here. I think I'll put this one in because it has the turquoise and the pink. I'm trying to keep my, I think I'll go with that one as well. And then this one. See, I kind of want this one in there just because it's, you know, kind of cool. I like this one because it has a vintage refrigerator in it. And this one as well. And these are pretty cool too. I'm going to keep those in there. Okay, and then this one, I think I'm going to cut this one up and use it somehow. Alright, so these are pretty much the pages that I want to use. And then as well these. And somehow I'm going to incorporate these. I'm not 100% sure how just yet. I don't think I want to use them just like they are. I'll have to think on that one for a minute. Okay. I'm going to go in and cut these up. So once I get these all in, I really want it to be really skinny because, you know, over time I'm going to want to add recipe cards and things to this book, which will make it undoubtedly get much larger. And I'm really bad about overfilling my books. So, plus I'm going to be adding a lot of pockets and things to the pages. So, cute. So that's pretty close to the right size. This is pages that came out of the book originally. I hope this is focusing okay. I keep having trouble with it sticking on the focus. So I think those will be pretty cute. Okay. I just love the patterns on this. They're very retro, but also kind of modern too. So that's kind of fun. I want to put that on the side. So alright, so I've got those. I love those. Those are awesome. Okay, so that's that there. Alright, so it's kind of one of those decisions. I think I'm going to use these. There's 5 of those, so I think I might make 5 signatures. And then these will be basically the covers for each signature. So, let's see how many of these pages I've got. This one. Come apart, you. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, let's see how many of these I've got. Not 5, but perhaps they'll be okay. Actually, I think I'm just going to stack these up. There. really enough for each one. This one will be here, and then here, here, and here. So I've got 3 of these. So the first one, third one, and 5th one. Those will have the pockets. Sure, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Apparently 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I wasn't even counting, and I was just randomly putting stuff, but they all ended up with 5 pages. So, yeah, let me see how these stack up. I think that's probably going to be enough pages by the time I add pockets and all kinds of things to those pages. I think that's going to be enough. So the decision now is, do I want to stack them up, or do I want them to be like that? These are the decisions that must be made. I'll be right back. Okay, so I think I am going to just layer them up randomly. I don't want all the scrapbook pages on the outsides of the signatures, because it will make it too uniform. I kind of like, the kind of whimsical feeling of them being a little bit more random, Like this one, I kind of want this one on the outside because it's such a cool image, And then this one might actually look cool like this. Because then you have that image and you have that, real layered up look. I like that. I really love this one, so that one's going to be on the outside for sure. actually. This one, I kind of want the pink on the outside, so I'm going to do that. Just to have one of them on the outside. Let's see here. I always got some kind of form of layered, look. Okay. So, I think I like, I really like that layered look. You can see, obviously these still have to be trimmed down, but, you get that cool variety of pages and textures and such. Okay, so those go in my book, such as that. That's going to leave me plenty of room to add, come on, focus, it's kind of dark, to add pockets and recipes, and, by the time it gets full, it's got plenty of room to add. So that's my main goal. So, yes. So I think for this episode, that's as far as I'm going to go now that I have my pages squared away, and this is getting plenty long enough. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is trim down these pockets and get them sewed around, and probably work on some of my ephemera next time, maybe. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!